Hi, this is Daymi Pelaez, and I'm with the ABA Exam Academy. We're going to be going over behavior change systems, which is section F of the BCBA 4th edition task list. I'm going to move along to our disclaimer. It's the ABA Exam Academy was created by and for students to earn their BCBA, BCABA certification. Most of the leaders and participants are not a BCBA or BCABA at this time. These meetings are meant to have active discussions, to collaborate, ask questions, and provide helpful suggestions to better understand the BACB 4th edition task list concepts. Due to this, it is important to know that all viewers and participants are responsible to verify the accuracy of the information being provided in order to successfully prepare for the BCBA, BCABA exam. So ethical considerations are: make sure to refrain from sharing any BCBA or BCABA test questions. Make sure to refrain from sharing any paid resources. That's really important, guys. Please don't do that. You can give general information, but just please don't go into detail. Just like we don't give identifiable client information, don't give identifiable information about paid resources. If you're sharing any open resources, peer-reviewed articles or books, please make sure to give proper credit to the author. And since we are students in the field of applied behavior analysis, please act in a professional and ethical manner at all times. Because of this, we did make a few rules. Make sure to mute your microphones if you're not speaking to allow us to have clear conversations. Allow the leaders and all participants a turn to speak without interruptions, and make sure to be respectful to others and refrain from using any inappropriate language throughout the meeting. And finally, let's have some fun. All right. Like I said before, I'm specifically only going over F01, which is self-management strategies. This section was very difficult for me. It still is very difficult for me, but I dug real deep into many resources. I went into Mayer, I went into Cooper, I looked at Bailey for some ethical considerations that I found, and I brought everything together. I mainly used Cooper because I noticed that when it comes to self-management, they had much more information and it was more clear, but I did go back and forth to make sure that I kind of got a little bit of everything. All right, so if you have your Cooper book, for each slide, I have the pages where I found the information. So if you guys want to do that, you could open your Cooper book. All right, so the first section is self-control versus self-management. I have one section which is B.F. Skinner's term and one is today's term. Which is which? Tell me. Does anybody know? Which one is self-control?
Is it radical and methodological?
Okay, so we're talking about self-control and self-management. Which one is Skinner's term?
Skinner's is self-control.
Okay.
I agree. Self-control.
Okay, and then today's term is?
Self-management.
Self-management. All right, perfect. Okay, so I have it separated. Skinner's term is on this side on the left, and then today's on the right. Okay, so we're going to work first on Skinner's word, which is self-control. It is considered misleading because it implies that it lies within the person. So then I have a fill-in here. Blank occurs when, in the relative absence of immediate external control, a person emits a response designed to control another behavior.
Is it self-control?
Yes, ma'am. Guys, I made it very easy. So don't overanalyze. Don't overanalyze it. I want to make this like errorless learning or error correction and repetition so that we can get it. Because like I said, this area of the task list is very confusing. I think it was on Yenny's meeting. She kept saying that, everything is self this and self that and self this. And we keep getting confused because we have the same term over and over again. Okay. So like I said, I have everything for Skinner on this side and today's term on that side. Okay, so blank is a two-response phenomenon. What?
Self-control.
Self-control, I guess.
Self-control. All right. Does anybody know the two responses? This is a little bit more difficult.
The controlling and the controlled.
Perfect. Controlling response and controlled response. All right, so now we're going to move along to this side, which is today's. It is a modern form used in reference to a person acting in some way in order to change in subsequent behavior.
Self-management.
Self-management.
Self-management. So self-management is a behavior that a person emits to influence another behavior. Self-management. Awesome. All right. So blank is a personal application of behavior change tactics that produces a desired change in behavior.
Self-management again.
Self-management again. Awesome. All right. So I want to see how many people do I have here? Oh, I have a lot. 20. Good. All right. So who can help me? I want each of you, if I can have volunteers, even better. Someone read number 1. These are advantages and benefits of self-management. Number 1.
Self-management can influence behaviors not accessible to external change agents.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Number 2, anyone?
External change agents often miss important instance of behavior.
Thank you. All right, let's move along. Number 3.
Self-management can promote the generalization and maintenance of behavior change.
Perfect. Next person. I heard someone going for it.
A small repertoire of self-management skills can control many behaviors.
Great. Thank you. Number 5.
People with diverse abilities can learn self-management skills.
Good. Number 6.
Some people perform better under self-selected tasks and performance criteria.
Awesome.
People with good self-management skills contribute to more efficient and effective group environments.
Great. Anyone that hasn't gone, let's go. Number 8.
Teaching students self-management skills provides meaningful practice
for other areas of
school curriculum.
All right, number 9.
Self-management is an ultimate goal of education.
Thank you.
Ultimate.
Thank you. Number 10.
Self-management benefits society.
Great. Number 11.
Self-management helps a person feel free.
And what are the last ones? Self-management feels good.
All right. Guys, I'm so happy to hear all these different voices. I am so happy.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's great participation. That's why I did this. I'm going to be very honest. I was like, I want to hear different people. This was great. All right. So antecedent-based self-management tactics. Number 1. So think about it. These are antecedent-based. Okay. Number 1, it says manipulating blank to make desired behavior more likely. What do we manipulate?
Environment.
Motivating operation. All right. Number 2, provide response blank. What do we provide? Response what?
Prompts.
Prompts.
Jamie, I have a question.
Yes.
Going back to number 1. So do we not also manipulate environments?
There's another section that says manipulating environments. And
Okay.
this specific one was MO.
Okay. All right.
All right. Number 3, performing the initial steps of a blank to ensure being confronted later with a discriminative stimulus that will evoke the desired blank. So these are two things. Let's do the first one. Performing the initial steps of a, what is it?
Behavior chain. Behavior chain.
Yes, ma'am. Great job. Evokes the desired what?
Behavior.
Response.
Behavior.
Behavior.
Oh, behavior and response, same thing. Good job. All right. Number 4, removing the materials required for a
Desirable behavior.
undesired behavior. Great job. Number 5, blank an undesired behavior to restricted stimulus conditions. What do we need to do?
Move.
Limit.
Limits. Good job. All right. Number 6, dedicating a specific blank for a desired behavior.
Area.
Environment.
Location.
There we go.
Agent.
Environment. There it is, Rita. Environment. That's what you were looking for, right?
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay. This is straight from Cooper, guys. Page 587. All right. Oops. All right, now we're gonna move on to self-monitoring. Self-monitoring is the subject of more research than any other.
And
Management.
Self-management strategy.
Self-management strategy. So it's a type of self-management strategy. And that is used, they look for it more in research. So if you look for self-management, most likely it's gonna be related to self-monitoring. All right, the definition of self-monitoring, what is it? Anybody? It doesn't have to be exact. Just give me in your own words.
self-monitoring is observe and then recording data. So self-monitoring is the same term as self-observation and self-observation.
Okay.
Right. It's self-monitoring and self-observing and taking data of the undesired behavior and desirable behavior.
Perfect, that's what I was looking for. Desired and undesired, so occurrence and non-occurrence of a target behavior. So we take data for both. All right, self-monitoring is often combined with a goal set. We goal set, and what else do we do?
Behavior contract.
It starts with self. We make a goal, and what else do? We self what?
Reinforcing.
Self-evaluate.
Self-evaluate.
Self-evaluate, perfect. All right, self-monitoring is often part of a blank that includes reinforcement to master self or teacher blank.
Intervention package.
Intervention package, very good. And then you master what? A self or teacher what?
Goal.
Oh, no, not yet.
Selected goal.
Selected goals.
Goals, perfect. All right, next slide. All right, this slide is gonna be guidelines and procedures for self-monitoring. Number 1, provide material that makes self-monitoring blank.
Accessible.
All right, just there you go. Someone said it, easy.
No.
All right, provide supplementary blank. What do we provide?
Materials.
It starts with a P. You can say P, you can say C, but most of us use the letter P.
Prompts.
Prompts, perfect, thank you. All right, self-monitor the most important dimension of the target behavior, which is, what's the most important dimension in this field?
Social.
It starts with an M.
Monitoring.
Measured.
Measurement, there you go.
Okay.
All right, self-monitor blank. What should we do?
Self-observation.
Data.
I'm gonna give you guys a hint for this one. How often do we do it?
Every day. Daily.
All the time.
All the time. Early, yes. Early and often.
Okay.
Okay, and then the last one is reinforce blank self-monitoring.
Appropriate self-monitoring. I don't know.
Steps. I don't know.
How do we make it reliable? We need a what? What do we need to get? The data needs to be
Recorded.
accurate.
All right.
All right. We're gonna move to the next one. All right, self-administer consequences. Okay. One of the fundamental approaches of self-management is giving specific blank following the occurrence of non-occurrence of a blank. So We're just talking about consequences here. So one of the fundamental approaches of self-management is giving specific
Reinforcement or
Enforcement?
punishment?
Consequences.
consequences.
Feedback. Consequences.
Consequences. Follow the occurrence or non-occurrence of a
Behavior.
behavior. Self-administered consequences can either be blank or blank.
Reinforcement or
Forcing
punishment?
or
Or punisher.
Punishment. Consequences given during self-management can also be either blank or blank.
Reinforcer or punisher?
So if we already said
Positive or
Negative
negative?
or positive.
Positive, negative.
positive or negative, which will increase or decrease the behavior in the
Future.
In the future.
future. Nice job, guys. All right. Recommendations of self-administered consequences. Okay, so these are specific recommendations. Number 1, select small and easy to deliver blank.
Reinforcer.
Enforcement.
Try again.
Consequence?
Consequence. All right. Set a meaningful but easy to meet blank for reinforcement.
Criteria.
Criteria.
Awesome, guys. You know this stuff. Eliminate
Bootleg.
blank.
Bootleg reinforcement.
Ooh, very good. If necessary, put blank in control of delivering consequences.
Others.
Someone else. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And keep it what?
Simple.
Keep it simple. Case.
Very good. All right. So now we can breathe for a little bit. Take a deep breath, guys. We're going to keep going.
What's you can remind me what bootleg reinforcement is?
Does anybody want to explain bootleg reinforcement?
Bootleg reinforcement refers to reinforcement
met the
we
criteria.
access without reaching appropriate criteria. So
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Think of it as accidental a reinforcement, you know, so a reinforcement that you get when you didn't really do what you're supposed to do.
Okay, got it.
So you didn't. So say you're supposed to run a whole mile, but you only ran half of it. But you're like, oh, I ran half of it, so I'm gonna get my reward.
Okay, so you haven't met the criteria, but you still give yourself the reinforcement.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
It's kind of like cheating. You're kind of cheating.
Yeah, that's the problem with self.
Yeah, there's no one making sure that you're really following through.
Self-monitoring, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're using the tokens, and those tokens are easily available at home, and they get it, and then that's also called bootleg, I think.
Right. Exactly. All right. We're more than halfway. All right. Self-instruction. What is self-instruction?
self-instruction is kind of verbal prompt. So we say something to ourselves.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was looking for, verbal. So it's self-generated.
Verbal responses.
Right. It's like telling yourself, you know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm almost there. I'm going to do this. That kind of thing.
Okay. So it can be either what or what?
Written or verbal.
It can
Vocal.
be overt or overt.
Over or over. Perfect. And then it functions as what? This is kind of a long one. What does it do to us when we say it in our head or we say it out loud?
It
What is
functions as a response prompt for
Response
desired
prompt.
behavior.
Perfect. Response prompt. Response prompts for desired behavior. Okay. So when we are seeing people talking to themselves, it can be self-instruction for multiple reasons. So in Cooper on page 604, I'm not sure if it was 604 or 605, it said that people only talk to themselves for 3 reasons. Does anybody know those 3 reasons? If not, I'll just give the answer. I just wanted to know if anybody knew.
Well, one will probably be prompts to motivate you.
Okay, so one of them is motivation, which is considered in Cooper congratulating. Uh-huh.
Is it to also admonish yourself?
Uh-huh. That's the second one. And what else? What's the third one?
Control what's
All right, I'm going to give it to you. The last one is giving specific instructions. So if you're telling yourself, oh, I have to do this next, or I have to do that next, or the next thing I have to do is that. So you're just telling yourself in your head what comes after, or what I have to do tomorrow, or, you know, all that stuff. All right. We're going to move on to habit reversal. What is habit reversal? Does anybody know?
Is it something about doing something else? It's pretty much something that is an unwanted habit.
Like nail biting.
Okay, yeah, something like that. All right, so what
Clients are taught to self-monitor their nervous habits and
Okay.
interrupt the behavior chain as
Right.
early as possible.
Okay, so what I found is it's typically implemented as a multiple component treatment and includes self-awareness training. Honestly, I'm learning this with you guys, so I can't explain much about it, but I know it has to do like you guys were saying. It's like a habit when you have something that you can't control due to whatever reason that you've been doing it for years, it's more difficult, so you have to work on your self-awareness. All right, so
what I found in Cooper, it says a habit reversal is says self-monitoring their unwanted habit and interrupt the behavior chain as early as possible by engaging in a behavior incompatible with the problem behavior. So it's pretty much if you know, I guess if you're like biting your nail, you can put your hands in your pocket so you can't, it's incompatible.
Yes.
And you're
Or make a
self-monitoring
test.
those habits.
Yes.
Right. Okay. As well as procedures for identifying events that precede and trigger the response. So that's another part. And then it says, habit reversal has proven to be a blank self-management tactic for a wide variety of problems.
Is it effective?
Effective, yes. All right, next we're going to move on to self-directed systematic desensitization.
I'm sorry, Demi.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Maud, can you give that example again of habit reversal?
Sorry, according to Cooper, it says, so you want to break the behavior chain as early as possible by engaging in a behavior incompatible with the problem behavior. So we all know DRI, it's like, for example, you can't holding a crate, you can't be holding a crate and slap yourself at the same time. That's incompatible. You can't eat and you can't be eating or refuse to eat at the same time.
So it's DRI. Think of it as DRI.
Incompatible. Just think of, you know, so whatever you can't stand up and sit at the same time. Just think habit reversal incompatible with DRI. Doing something else that is incompatible to the behavior.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Maud.
Yep.
All right, so self-directed system desensitization. Wow, this one's hard. Okay, what is this? I'm just gonna say this. What is it?
That is a type of treatment for, I don't know.
Okay. Does anybody know?
I got an example.
Okay.
I had a client where he was scared of spiders. So we started exposing him to like the pictures of spiders and then like the toy spiders. Basically, you keep exposing him so that fear is no longer there.
Perfect. Okay. So the definition is to the point that you were saying, very to the point. It says it is a widely used behavior therapy treatment for anxieties, fears, and phobias that features the self-management strategies of engaging in an alternative behavior. So like she was saying, showing pictures to kind of teach and desensitize a client like for me, for example, I can't tolerate roaches. I can't even see them sometimes in magazines. So maybe I should use that.
We also use that for people, like kids who are going to get their hair cut and they have like anxiety of going there. We like, there's an app on the iPad. We have them listen to the sounds of it and then do different things to desensitize.
Yeah, and even video modeling is good for that, because you can show them, you know, what they're going to expect when they go to get their hair cut. So just getting them used to whatever their fears are. All right.
But if you think of that, it's more like shaping the behavior. So you go a little bit at a time before you get to the haircut.
Yeah, perfect. All right. The next question is, it involves blank one behavior, generally muscle relaxation for the blank.
It involves substituting.
Yes.
For the unwanted behavior.
Unwanted, perfect. All right, now we're gonna move, I have 8 minutes, but I'm gonna move on to mask practice. What is mask practice? Does anyone know?
So
You're practicing the unwanted behavior, the negative behavior continuously.
By doing what?
the same thing.
Performing it over and over again.
Performing it over again. So in Cooper, it said forcing oneself to perform an undesired behavior again and again. Okay? In Cooper and in Bailey, I found this information twice. Okay? So I wanted to emphasize this. Mass practice can sometimes blank the future frequency of the behavior, but at times it can be considered blank.
Decrease, maybe?
Decrease, okay, and it can be considered what?
Aversive?
Punishment.
Punishment?
No.
Practice.
Unethical?
Unethical.
Oh.
All right, so it is very effective for some clients, but for some clients, it will be very unethical. Okay, so it either decreases it or it's going to increase it extremely high. So you got to be very careful who you use it with. Okay. All right.
So I can see how confusing a masked practice, a question or the scenario where the answer is masked practice to the other one, desensitization. Because with desensitization, you're exposing, you know, the person to the undesirable behavior until they become desensitized about it. And then with masked practice, you're also, you know, performing that same undesirable again and again and again. So when this comes in a scenario and both of them are the choices, I can see how difficult it could be.
Yes, it is. It is. You have to be very careful. Thank you, Rita. All right.
You're welcome.
Suggestion for conducting an effective self-management program. So this is the last slide before we have a little quiz. Number 1, specify a blank and define the behavior to be changed.
Specify a goal.
A goal. Very good. All right. Number 2, begin self-monitoring the blank.
Behavior.
Number 3, contrive contingencies that will compete with the blank contingency.
Natural contingency.
Natural. Nice. Go blank with your commitment to change your behavior.
Go public.
Go forth.
Public.
Public.
Go public, yeah.
Good. Number 5, get a self-management blank.
Partner.
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 Number 6, continually evaluate your self-management blank, it as needed.
Program.
There's 2 words in here.
Package.
Program and redesign.
Redesign or modify, both, the same thing. All right, perfect. All right. I have 5 minutes. We can try. We can try. If not, I'll stop it. All right, so I want you guys to match. So I'm gonna get my little line over here. I'm gonna get my notebook, 1 second. All right. self-management. Which one is for self-management? Does anyone know? You guys want me to read it out?
Yellow. Yellow.
The yellow one, the last one.
There's a lot.
No.
Can we do whichever one?
No,
we
yellow is
like
self-monitoring.
Like mass practice is
All right,
the first one.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read the first definition, the red one, and then you guys tell me what it is. Okay? All right. Forcing oneself to perform an undesired behavior repeatedly.
Mass
practice.
Yes.
Hold on. All right. Employment of behavior analytic interventions to the behavior of oneself.
Self-management. Self-monitoring.
That one's yellow.
You want to make a tiebreaker? Someone says self-management, someone says self-monitoring.
I said both. I figured I'll be right one way or the other.
I think it's self-management, right?
I'll go with self-management.
Yeah, self-management.
Self-management. Good job, guys. All right, next one. Compares their performance with a predetermined goal or standard.
Self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation. Good job. All right. Self-generated a verbal response, either covert or overt, that function as a response prompt for a desired behavior.
Self-instruction.
Good job. All right. Next one. Substitution on behavior for unwanted behavior.
Habit
reversal.
Then self-directed systematic desensitization.
Yes, ma'am. Got it. All right, a multi-component treatment package for reducing unwanted habits that involves identifying events that precede target behavior and engaging completing responses.
Habit reversal.
That is habit reversal. And then the last one, obviously.
Self-monitoring.
Self-monitoring. So self-monitoring is a procedure in which a person observes their own behavior and record data of the occurrence of the behavior.
Jamika, you wait. Don't change it, please. I just want to look at. The the systematic desensitization again. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. You good, Rita?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. All right. AKAs.
Less than a minute.
Yep, we can do it. Well, I don't know. Probably not. All right, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to end it right here, and then I'm going to keep going. I have this AKAs, and I have another quiz that I'm going to do. Okay, guys? It's the same link.
Okay.